Good morning. Today we are going to continue in our overview of the regions of North Africa and Southwest Asia. And as we said at the beginning, there are actually 6 regions, and we will be covering 5 of the 6. The 6th region being Kurdistan, and in the interest of time, we're just going to go over the first 5. So we've already covered the Nile Valley and the civilization of the Nile, and we've also covered the Maghreb and its neighbors. Those 2 are in North Africa. So now we're going to switch. As you can see, ta-da, by this map, we're switching over to the Asia map, and we're going to focus today on 3 regions in Southwest Asia. So these regions are, the first one is what is known as the Middle East. I say it in quotes, air quotes, because Middle East is a term that's often used by civilizations that are in location to the west of this region. So from this region's standpoint, it's at the center, and from this region's standpoint, it's not east, it's west. So really it depends on where the location is of the people. So from a perspective of the region that we're talking about, which I always like to do, it's actually not Middle East. So we'll start with the Middle East, and the contents or the states that are in the Middle East are Jordan, Israel, Lebanon, Syria, and Iraq. So let's go ahead, and again, we're doing an overview, a woefully short overview if you think about the fascinating history of this region and how central it is to world affairs right now. So we'll just give you an overview intended for you to set your mental map and be able to find information that you need. Look it up, research it, all the interesting things that you want to find out. So we'll just start with, why is this a region? Well, this Middle East, another reason why the word middle is often in it, is because it's so focal, it's so central. But let's really be careful. We already said that the religion of most influence here in North Africa, Southwest Asia, is Islam. It's the Muslim culture. And we also said that in the tree of religion, of the one God religions, we started with, do you remember what we started with at the bottom of that tree? Judaism, then Christianity, and then Islam. So Islam is the last one to really flower and blossom. It's very fast growing. Millions and millions of people are Muslim. So in this realm, in this chapter, in this section, Islam is the predominant religion and Muslim is the predominant culture. But that doesn't mean that the other 2 one God religions, they were also born in this realm. So those 3 one God religions, Judaism, Christianity, and Islam, all come into play in the Middle East in a very, very big way. That is, there are places, namely Israel, where all 3 claim it's holy to that religion. And for that reason, passions run high, tensions can run high. So let's go ahead and just talk a little bit about each one. And again, this is located at the eastern end of the Mediterranean in this Fertile Crescent area. And it is fertile. There's beautiful agriculture here. So the region as a whole, to clarify this region from the other regions, which is what we like to do, really, we can say that it has significant cultural significance for all 3 one God religions. But it is not the birthplace of Islam. Which one is the birthplace of Islam? Do you know? Well, it's Saudi Arabia. I'll answer for you. So we already said the Prophet came out of Mecca and Medina, where the Hajj went to Medina. We'll talk more about Saudi Arabia, but we did say in the overview that Islam arose from Saudi Arabia. And so let's not make the mistake of saying it's the birthplace of Islam. It isn't. It is holy to Islam. It is holy to the other two one God religions, both Judaism and also Christianity. So let's talk a little bit about Israel then, because often Israel is the focal point for a lot of what is going on. But today we have lots of other issues. We have ISIS and Syria, big issues in other places too. Afghanistan, of course, Iraq. Afghanistan not being in this region, but there are places in Nazwa, or North Africa, Southwest Asia, that are also the focal point of lots of tension and passions right now too. But Israel, of course, that we talked a little bit about the history already. The Jewish people had wandered, as told about in the Bible. Their homeland, they didn't have a homeland. They were in Egypt, and then they were persecuted also for their religious beliefs, especially during World War, is it I or II? Do you know what happened during World War II? The Nazis and just terrible Holocaust. And so after the war, then Israel got awarded the homeland of Israel. And yet the Palestinian people who also live there, they're stateless. And promptly after Israel was awarded at the end of the war, Europeans had a conference and actually divided up and made borders and divided up and allocated these different